In this lesson, I showcased the odd one out paired with an I think, we think. I decided to use the odd one out to review as part of interview review for my chemistry standards for my 7th grade class. And as I was creating the odd one out, I decided, oh, this will be a great time to pull in I think, we think. So I did a 3-column sheet for the odd one out. In the first column, I listed the things for them to decide which one was the odd one out. The middle column was the I think. So my students had to have quiet time where they individually thought about which one was the odd one out, and they also had to explain why it was the odd one out. Once they finished the I think part, then they worked as a group to do the we think part. And so they had to discuss what each one of them thought and come up with a we think. Which one did they agree as a group was the odd one out?
I think column, you write which one you think is the odd one out and why you think that. And you're going to do that all the way down. And then I'm going to tell you to work with your group to do the we think. So when you get to that part, you're going to talk with your group and you're going to decide. Everybody's going to talk about what they thought was the odd one out and why. And then as a group, you're going to agree on what is the odd one out and why, and then you're going to fill out that 3rd column. All right, any questions before I hand these out? While we're doing the I think part, there will be no talking among the groups because I want this to be your thinking only. And I don't want you to be influenced by anybody else, and I don't want you to influence anybody else. So while we're doing the I think part, we will be quiet and we will be thinking and writing. And then when we get to the we think part, what you going to do then? Talk to your group. What are you going to talk to your group about? Which one's the odd one? So you're going to stay on topic, aren't you? All right.
I like the odd one out because it makes them think about the vocabulary, make those connections, relationships between the concepts. And then I wanted them to do the I think part just so I could see what each individual student was thinking at the time, what they understood and what they knew about the concepts. And then by doing the we think, they could go from what they thought to learn what the other students thought about it, and if that changed their thinking to the correct answer, then there was a learning process there. And then if all of them had this, if all of them thought we're on the right track with the we think, I knew that they understood the concept, and it also gave me, I could look at it and tell which ones I needed to go back and readdress.
That's what I need to see if you remember.
I don't remember.
So try to think about it.
I know.
And that's why this is the I think part. And then you can talk to your group about the we think and see what everybody else thinks about it.
Like a glove that keeps your hand warm? Like, would you, like a oven mitt? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be an insulator.
I don't remember.
What does a conductor do?
I don't remember. I don't know this one.
Well, just think about it and see if you can think about your words. And I'm not telling you any of these are right or wrong. This is what you think, okay? So it's whatever you think. Okay? All right, now I want you to do the we think. So you're going to do what now? You're going to talk about what? About each one of those boxes and figure out which one's the odd one out. So share your thoughts with each other. Well, let's talk about that real quick. All right. What is
The bend, right?
Is what? To bend, okay. What? To bend what? Metal, okay.
But a conductor is not metal.
What do you cook on your stove? Yeah, but what do you put your food in and put it on a pot, pan? What is that pot or pan made out of? Metal. You don't put some plastic on your eye and turn the eye on, do you? All right. So you're talking about metal. So what do you think conductor means?
I thought it let metal pass through.
Not heat. It lets heat pass through it. Okay? It lets heat pass through it. So you're telling me that malleable means metal and conductor means metal. What that has to do with metals? What is the other one that has to do with metals?
Brittle is like it breaks.
All right, does metal break easily? No. So which one do you think is the odd one out?
Brittle.
Why? Somebody tell me why.
Because metal doesn't break.
All right. So brittle would not be a characteristic of metal, would it? Because metal, you're saying metal doesn't break easily. Okay. All right, y'all are almost there. You got one more block.
It helped me understand which ones they knew. Like one of them, the periodic table question. I knew that I needed to go back and spend a little bit more time reviewing with the periodic table. Some of them kind of argued back and forth about the odd one out with the metals, about the malleable and ductile and brittle and being a conductor. That was it. And so that I knew that I needed to go back. So some of them got it. They remembered the metals, and a few of them did not. So I went back and spent time going back over the properties of metals and nonmetals just by doing that one activity.
On the third one, who said water was me? I said calcium. Okay, so who else said water?
I said water.
I said water.
Water. Okay, water.
Calcium does not go with them. Carbon dioxide and oxygen.
Yeah, but water is not in your body.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
In your body, but like
It don't. It's in your body, but it don't really do nothing. Your body's pretty much 70-something% water.
I put water because everything else has to do with air. Because carbon's in the air, oxygen's in the air.
Calcium's what you got in your body. Water and carbon dioxide.
Calcium had its own milk.
Combined together.
Yeah, calcium has something to do with milk.
These
Golly. Know all about it.
So how many of you say water?
Me.
All right. Why, Beatrice? Why did you say water?
It's like
Because
it just sounds right in my.
But why? What? Think about. All right. Look at these things first. Tell me what oxygen is.
air.
Just like
It's a gas.
a gas.
Is all air oxygen?
No.
No, it's just one type of gas, right?
Yes.
What does the periodic table have? What is it made of?
Sort of.
Sorta.
Yeah.
Are they a mixture of chemicals? Are they
It
separate?
shows what
Separate
what
things.
each molecule is: solid, liquid, and gas.
Okay, it does show us that. All right, and it shows us that. All right, those things on the periodic table, can they be broken down into anything else?
No.
No.
In the simplest form.
So in the simplest form, good job. Does anybody remember what that's called? All right, so on that periodic table, it has those individual things. I'm gonna call them things right now until we lead up to the word, and they can't be broken down into anything else. Is oxygen on that periodic table?
No.
Yeah, it is. It's on there. So oxygen can't be broken down into anything but oxygen. Okay. What about carbon? Is it on that periodic table?
Yes.
Yes. So it can't be broken into anything but carbon. All right. And you're saying calcium's on there. Calcium can't be broken into anything but calcium. But what about water?
It can.
Water is H2O.
So water's made out of what?
H2O.
And hydrogen. So this would be a combination of some of those other things, wouldn't it?
Yep.
All right. Still can't remember what these things are called. We had 3 words when we talked about some of these things. One started with an E. One element. Now, why is water the odd one out?
Because
the compound.
It's a compound. Very good.
This one I said Kool-Aid because when you mix it up, you can't see the parts.
I said Kool-Aid because everything else is food.
Okay, so Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid because
You can't see the parts.
you can't see the parts when you mix it up.
I wish I remember what type of mixture it's called.
I said a conductor.
I said brittle.
I said conductor.
I didn't know this
I
one.
said conductor. It's probably brittle.
So it's brittle right here. We don't know.
Yes, brittle. But I don't know why. Hey, it's brittle. Is it brittle?
It's probably brittle.
Why do you think brittle?
Because brittle is not a conductor or
It doesn't deal with metal.
It doesn't what?
Deal with metal.
Doesn't deal with metal.
Yeah.
Because our metals, what does brittle mean first?
It means it's flimsy.
Flimsy.
Like it can break easy.
It can break easily.
I said that.
Yeah. So do metals break easily?
No.
No. Good job. Good job.
It surprised me that they remembered a little bit more than I thought they remembered. Some of them did remember those properties of the metals. They remembered the word, the malleable, ductile, conductive, and they also were able to think about those words and then make those relationships to find the odd one out. The heterogeneous mixtures, the part about the soup, they wanted to argue about what type of soup they were having, so they did get into some very deep discussions on the odd one out for each one of those parts.
Now let's talk about do the we think as a class. All right, you ready to do the we think as a class?
Where's that section?
We're just going to talk about it. Okay? See if we all agree. Shh. All right, the first one. What do you think the odd one out for the first box is? Jarius? Color. How many groups said color was the odd one out for the first box? All right, great. Why, Dylan? Why is color the odd one out?
Because it doesn't have anything to do with measures.
All right, good job. So y'all are saying that weight, density, and length are all types of measurements of something? And colors not. What did you have in box 2, Miranda? All right, Miranda's group had density. What did your group have?
We have density.
You had density? I thought this one would give us a hard time. What did y'all have on? What did y'all have? All right. Let's talk melting point. What is melting point? All right. Something that melts. So if I take my piece of ice and it melts, or what is ice made out of? Water. All right. If I take that frozen water and melt it, do I still have water? Yes. So have I changed it into anything? No. So if I take that water and boil it and it turns into a gas, is it still water, but in gas form? So have I changed it into anything else? All right. Now, what is density of something? All right. Okay, the mass, how close together the particles are. Does the density change? No, because you're still having that same water molecule, aren't you? It's just in a different what? Okay. All right. Now, we can't burn water, can we? Okay. What if I take this piece of paper and I burn it? Do y'all remember when I did that? All right. Is that when I burned it, when I burned that piece of paper, could we put those ashes back together and form that piece of paper? No. So it changed that piece of paper into ashes, which is something that's totally different. All right, let's go on to the third box. What's the odd one out? Why, Miranda, is that one the odd one out?
Because it has 2 elements.
All right, it is made of 2 or more elements. Very good. Okay. All right. The fourth box. Morgan?
Kool-Aid.
And why is Kool-Aid odd one out?
Because whenever you can't see it, like, as if it separates. Like, you can't see it separate.
Okay, you can't see the separate parts of it. All right. But you can see the separate parts of the other one. And what is that called when you can't see the separate parts? Homogeneous mixture. What is it called when you can see the separate parts? Heterogeneous mixture. All right. I knew y'all would be good with that one. All right. The fifth box. We had to do a little bit of thinking on that one. Jordan. Brittle. Jordan, why did your group think brittle was the odd one out? All right, it's not a property of metals. And because what? Metal can't break easily. Good job. Of these things on here, what area do you think you need me to kind of do a little bit more review in when we think about our chemistry unit? So, y'all feel we need to go back tomorrow and talk about our physical and chemical properties, metals, nonmetals, and our acids and our bases.
Are we going to do the questions on the board?
Our game, yes. We're going to do our game. Okay? So we're going to review by doing our game tomorrow. All right. Why do you think I gave you this to do today? Nick. All right, to see what we needed to review. To help us study. Why do you think I did it as an I think, we think? Jarius? See what you remember first, and then as a group, sometimes talking to each other kind of sparks your memory, doesn't it? All right. So to see what you remembered on your own, and then you could work as a group to kind of spark your memories to see what you remember. Okay? All right. Make sure your name's on your paper.